My Big Fat Pull List is the name of this highly produced special mission podcast. Its purpose? To provide deep dives for the listeners covering comics, games, movies, and all things pop culture.
Welcome back, listeners. It's another deep dive, but this is a 2-for-1 actually. It's a team-up exclusive, if you will. We're going to be talking about Punisher and Daredevil and how they start to intertwine. Myself and Smurfy will be taking Punisher. Dragonus will be taking Daredevil. Dr. Impact
can just go.
We'll be there.
I'm just here. I'm just set dressing.
He did not bring anything.
Nope, I didn't bring anything today. I got nothing.
He brought his hat.
Yeah.
I do have the hat, yeah.
Now, while I might have already said our name and who we are, we do love to hear our own voices say our own names. So, I am one of 3 hosts today. Pistol Danger.
I am Smurfy.
I am Dragonus Prime.
And I am not one of the 3 hosts, but I'm just sitting here and hanging out and causing mayhem today. Dr. Impact.
Causing quite an impact.
I am.
No, he's not. He's not today.
Because I didn't bring anything.
It's fair.
I didn't read this stuff. I am here so that you guys can tell me, because I read the first issues of both of these series.
Okay.
When they hit.
Just like number ones, that's it.
Just the number ones, because that's what I do now.
Pace yourself, buddy. Jeez.
I pick up first issues and then I see, like, because books are expensive now.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
so
these were all $4.
You really have to blow me away for me to continue to pick it up. And I enjoyed what I read. They weren't bad, but I don't have the money to drop another title or anything like that. So
this was $6 for issue 1, and issue 2 was $5. Marvel,
yeah,
clean it up.
My issue 1 was $5.
And like you guys are getting them, so I knew I could get the stories from you. So I didn't bring anything, so I'm excited to hear about Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil and Jason Aaron's Punisher.
That's the joy of being in a group like this and listening to us on whatever social medias you like.
You guys can save your money and not have to buy them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think we decided we're going to deep dive into Punisher. And when I say deep dive, I'm going to kind of give quotations because unlike the others, I'm not going to go page by page on things.
Right.
This is going to be more...
broad strokes.
Yeah. Broader strokes.
Mainly because we have a lot of issues to go through between the 2 series.
Mm-hmm. We have 9 on Punisher and then
8 on Daredevil.
So 17 issues.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I like the Punisher. I do.
Yeah.
I like Pernthal's version of him.
Oh, he's a great Punisher.
He is not someone I normally pick up, but I was told. I don't remember which one of you guys told me, but the hook of this is the new Punisher is Hank is leading the Hank, his brother,
his bro, his twin, Bizarro Frank
Castle. Yeah.
Hank hands out flowers. Not death.
Yes. Frank is leading the hand, and that's an interesting hook that I was like. I also picked up issue 1.
Me and Doctor were telling you about that because we were like, Punisher's coming back, but they changed it because of controversy around the skull.
Yeah.
And so that's what led us to this going, the skull's different, let's see what the book's about.
And listeners, go back into our archives because we did do a one-shot review of the first issue where we go into detail about the whys. We're not going to touch on all of that here. You can go back and check out that episode and learn why Marvel changed the logo and all that. But then story-wise, it does make sense. We'll go into the story parts today because I'm sure it ties in with all that. But that was the first thing that drew us as well because I'll pick up Punisher off and on depending on who's doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite as out of it as you are. I'm probably more along the lines of what I'm not, but at the same time, I'm not as hardcore.
Anytime Ramita does
Smurfy is.
Yeah, like this is like the first comic I ever bought was Punisher book.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I'm actually probably the farthest removed from Punisher out of the group.
I would think so.
Yeah. But this was a good enough hook that I was like, yes. I generally give things 3 issues.
Okay.
Because first impressions are often hard, especially when you're trying to reestablish characters.
Right. So you don't go 1 issue and then they say, I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I don't wait for my friends to tell me how 2 and 3
I've heard
go.
there are people that only buy the first issue to try it out.
Idiots.
And they just judge it all by that.
Man, when they're $6 each.
Daredevil's
fair enough. Comics are very expensive.
Yes.
But no, so the hook is Punisher is leading the hand. the first issue is basically about how that comes to be and what's promised to him so that he actually accepts this.
There's some great scenes in that. I
They're
read
all-
the first issue.
Yeah. I believe the first issue begins with a raid on the...
It's like a weapon storage warehouse. Yeah.
Yes. For people who look like they're wearing Ares helmets or
But
Spartan
like,
helmets.
but like with business suits.
Yes.
Yeah, which is
And
you're
they
like,
are
okay.
talking about these amazing weapons. They have like a Hulk minigun, like a gamma minigun.
like a pim grenade,
grenade, like
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, ninjas just appear and start murdering people. And then from there, Punisher shows up in a new skull, and he doesn't use guns. He now has swords. And he kills them all. He tries to get information out of one of them at the end, but eventually he ends up killing all of them. When we cut back, we find that he's been traveling with the hand back to... what is the name of it?
Some mysterious island.
Yeah, dude, I don't have to even tell you because it's in the
like
woods.
it's like in Shang-Chi where you can only know the location.
You have to know
that
how to get to
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
But we meet the Archpriestess, and then she kind of fills us in on the backstory. She has been watching Frank his whole life because she believes he is what they call the Fist of the Beast.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I hear it takes 3 people to be the Fist of the Beast, but the sick beast, so we'll get there. Letterkenny, I love it. So what you find is that while Hank's out fucking
Frank.
Jesus, yes. Frank.
Hey, call him Mr. Castle.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Castle.
While the fist.
Marvel, now I want a Hank Castle book.
Yeah,
now
it was
I
just
want,
one of, you know what? Who's to say that wasn't one of his aliases? He was
maybe,
like, what's
yeah.
your name? Hank.
Fank.
Hank Castle.
I'm Fank.
It's because of Hank Fortress, my character from...
from our Deadlands.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Yeah,
he doesn't
yeah.
have to fight Pat Murdoch.
Yeah.
God, I hope not.
Is he from the A-Team?
He was actually Mr. T from the agent.
Was he?
Punisher is still on his war, but now he's got the hand doing his bidding. And this Archpriestess found out her suspicions by essentially assaulting Hank. In my head now, I'm doing it on purpose.
It's in there.
It's in there now.
It's in there.
They assault...
We'll restart the whole episode.
No, they assault Frank at his house.
They assault the Punisher at his
there you
house.
go. There you go.
And she's actually giving quite a nice soliloquy of like how the ninjas that he is like mass murdering through are ninjas she has raised from birth.
Yeah.
They are the closest
Yeah.
she has to children. And the joy she gets from watching him tear them asunder
Yeah.
is insane.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that part. Yeah, that was
The-
creepy.
I mean, for
And
most
it's,
of the...
it's like a 5-7 page fight
Oh,
scene.
dude,
It's
I was gonna say
great.
it's most of the book, and Frank doesn't. He does not pull any punches.
Nope.
He uses a claymore under a desk. He finds like a pistol in a drawer. He's using everything.
Reminds you of
to
that
destroy these
fight
guys.
in the Tom Jane movie with Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
just
like
about
everything
it.
he's
Yeah,
got.
anything he's got, he's using against
Yeah.
these guys.
And it's great. Frank is eventually stopped before he can kill the Archpriestess because she brings in something he knows. She knows he wants. She brings in Maria.
Yeah, which
His
is crazy.
wife.
But you have to assume it because all you see is her butt.
Yes.
It's good, but
I mean, it's not a bad butt, but I'm just saying, you see her butt, and then you see Frank's eyes, and you got to go, oh, that must be of significance.
I can just see Smurfy and Home reading going, oh, that must
This
be
has
something.
significance.
One hand busy, the other hand reading the comic, like significance.
Significance.
Yeah. And at the end, you do see her face.
What's interesting is
And
they put
with
the bullet
bullet-
holes in it.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
bullet scars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her face, her neck. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because when the hand brings you back, they bring you back as you were,
Yes.
if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So Maria
Very
is...
Lazarus pit like.
Yes.
yeah, I wonder
So
where they got
Maria
that from.
does have the bullet holes healed over, but they're still there.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's kind of the clue that it's not just random blonde. It's
Yeah.
Maria Castle.
And correct me, don't they also talk about like, hey, like Frank, do this for us, but your mission of rid the world of bad people will not go unresolved. I'll send out my hand ninjas to slowly start killing bad guys. So it's
Yes,
like
that-
and like bad people, like, hey, this guy jaywalked head off. And it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
like you know.
So, yes, while he's on his mission fighting these arms dealers, he's having hand teams round up bad people.
Like,
He's on a mission from God.
Yeah.
yeah, just
And-
about, man.
Another thing that proves to the Archpriestess that he is the Fist of the Beast is that she's like, "Oh, you're tired, Frank. Why don't you go lay down? Go with your wife. Hang out." He's like, "No."
Nope. I'll do it.
There's a hand ninja who's like his secretary who's like, "This guy did this, and this," and then there's Frank just head off.
Not Hank.
Head off.
Yeah,
No.
so not Hank.
No, Hank doesn't.
Hank comes in later.
Doesn't execute. No. He's the paddler, not the Punisher.
He's selling propane and propane accessories.
So generally speaking, this is kind of the first 3 issues. Is like we kind of figure out what Frank's been up to. I almost said Hank again.
I saw
swear
it.
to God,
Yes.
it almost
I
did.
saw it. Almost came out.
It is. It's a combination of like that stories of him ripping up the ninja, but that also starts doing flashbacks when he was a kid, and it takes like his first life.
Oh, I think I read some of those where she's also been visiting him as a kid or something.
Well, she's keeping an eye on him.
And she keeps offering.
Yeah.
She keeps like
Offering
presenting him
these
a
3
plate.
swords.
Yeah.
Which is yours?
Yeah, which one's
And he
yours? You
refuses
know,
to
he's like,
I
to
do
take
remember
one.
that
Yeah.
part. Yeah.
And yeah, it's like it's right here, right? And they're all like different design. Like, oh, these are yours. And yeah, she finds them on the street wearing like a Captain America shirt.
It's very Dalai Lama type, but
yeah,
like
no,
evil.
very much so. Like, yeah, which one of these toys is yours? But like
Yeah.
super, yeah. Just,
And eventually, what happens is a vassal of Ares. I don't remember what they're called. The apostle
the
of
apostle,
Ares
yeah, the apostles.
brings Frank a gamma gun as a sign of peace. Like, we don't have a problem with you. Stop having a problem with us. And Frank's like,
can use his-
absolutely get fucked. Absolutely, 100% no. I'm going to kill you.
He takes the sword out and smashes the gun in front of the guy, and I was like,
We don't have a problem with you,
Yeah.
so why don't you have no problem with us? Yeah, no.
Well,
that
that's not how
doesn't
this
work that way.
works.
so like in the art, like he smashes the gun with the sword. It's got the goo on it, and he's like, I'm just gonna cut you with the goo sword now.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, well, that's not nice, and like pulls a gun out of his own ribs.
Yeah, he's got
like
like
he
a-
rips, like he's got a suture,
God.
and he rips inside himself, and he's just like, we're gonna end this now, and pulls out like this bloody pistol. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You'd think that would kind of gum up the works.
Maybe. This is also the part where you realize something's kind of wrong with Frank as his eyes turn red and they start to glow. Yeah.
Like
Actually, yes.
Superman.
Yeah, you start seeing the
Oh.
smoke. Like he's definitely got some sort of like demonic possession going on.
Oh,
Or
we're not
something-
going
something's
back
up.
to angel demon hunting Punisher here, are we? Like we did in Marvel Knights,
Maybe.
where he had like
It's
the
more-
little glowing
Sir,
thing on his head.
this is
It's more
this is the
God
second
hunting.
issue.
Oh,
You
sorry.
let us-
Okay, sorry. All right.
You
all
didn't
right.
even give the book that
You
much.
haven't tried this yet. Jeez, this is still in your pole bag. Like, calm down.
And so he basically declares war on Ares, and now Ares knows he's declaring war on him. And I think at this point, she offers him the swords one more time. Actually, yeah.
So keep
She
me on
offers
track,
him
buddy.
the swords one more time, and he picks the sword. It's whatever the sword is that is of their god.
Yeah.
And
It was him of a previous life.
Yes.
As like this like samurai warrior
Supposedly.
guy. Yeah, supposedly. Yeah.
Okay.
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Okay.
And I believe at the end she takes him down to meet the beast, the god
Yeah.
that she worships.
Okay.
You chose correctly. You may enter and see the demon beast.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is creepy as F because he's surrounded by like half mutilated bodies
He
hanging on
looks
chains.
familiar. I wonder if I've
Does,
seen this.
doesn't it?
Yeah. Have you seen Ghostbusters? Okay. So
No,
he
like-
looks almost like the dogs.
Yeah, he
Oh,
does.
he does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he kind of looks like a big
But I think
pterodactyl.
I've seen him in another.
But he's got like kind of
He
like
looks like the vampires from
multi horns here
the big fat ones
that
at the
like
end.
eventually come to like 2 points on each side.
Looks like tree
And he's
trunks.
kind of big, yeah. And he's like this big guy. He's got
He's huge.
a bowl of like blood and a bowl of fire.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's just massive.
Blood and fire. You're always juggling blood and fire.
Yeah. And that's kind of how issue 2 ends. But
Well, sorry. Well, then you have the apostles meeting like street level thugs.
Yeah,
And then he was like, "Hey man, we gave you guys weapons. You didn't use them." And he's like, "No man, with your weapons, we didn't have to." We were like, "Look at these weapons we got." The guys surrendered, and they're like, "That's not the deal." And they literally destroy these street level thugs. For
and
not
this
using
isn't the
weapons.
apostles now. Ares has shown
Yeah,
up.
Ares is here, and he's just like, and Ares is a beast. Ares jumps on their
Oh,
car
Ares is-
and
Ares
crushes
is
it.
literally a god.
Yeah, I mean, he
I
is.
thought he got ripped in twain.
Right. I don't know how he's.
Yeah,
they
how
don't
is he
explain
back?
that.
Does it
he's
say?
back.
Because he's a god.
Yeah, they don't.
Okay.
They don't ever.
Shut up.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't ever really say.
Fair
But,
enough.
but at the last page, like you're saying, oh, Ares is definitely
Looking very
back.
dapper now.
Yeah,
that
he's
back.
dapper because he's wearing a more feathery hat than all
and
the
a
rest.
3-piece suit.
Yeah, and a 3-piece suit,
He is the god of war.
and that's what he wants. And you pay tribute by war.
Yeah.
Without war, like I mean, you're not appeasing me, and I'll start a war.
Okay.
That's
okay.
his whole
So
philosophy.
Ares is back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's back, and that's
issue-
when they're getting the weapons.
Yep. Issue 3 starts with more backstory for Frank. I believe it starts to get into his school stuff when he plays hockey, where he meets Maria for the first time, or Caesar for the first time. And this is all spread throughout the issue. Like, this isn't all up front.
Don't miss the best part. They attack Bob's.
Yes. They actually go to war against Hydra.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I always know him as Bob.
Yeah.
Because of the
he
one
attacked the
Hydra-
Bobs.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
from Deadpool. Yeah.
Yes.
So
And in this, they destroy this Hydra cell.
yeah.
Okay.
And they actually get a Hydra guy. They keep a Hydra captive, and then Frank unleashes the first power of the beast, which is he's able to, like, it's almost like Ghost Rider's penance stare without the after effect. He's able to look inside someone and see their sins.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not good for Punisher.
No. He even says it. He's like, "You're guilty."
That's not good if Punisher meant me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyone.
That's the creepy part because he's like, "I got everything out of this guy," and the guy goes, "I didn't say anything," and he goes, "You didn't have to." He's like, "I know that," and he starts rattling off stuff he knows. And the guy's, I mean, you can't see his eyes. You can tell he's kind of like, "Oh shit." What? And it's just something when Punisher does this thing, he just can read everything bad he's ever done.
Jeez.
Gets the list together and goes, "This is why you're judged unworthy. Kill." So yeah, Then Then it goes back to him. Like they do a lot of flashbacks where they keep going back to like his childhood.
Sure.
Like
Sure,
it's him
'cause
like
you're building
shooting
up
cans.
that makes
and
sense.
like some dude was being an a-hole, so Frank doused him with pretty much
So yeah, I think
gasoline,
they're
lights him
saying
on
like
fire.
at age 8, they're
Yeah.
saying Frank had his first confirmed kill. And then
Oh.
I think at like,
He doused the guy with more or less napalm. He figures out how to make napalm.
yeah.
Oh my
He douses the
gosh.
guy and lights
Okay.
him on fire and watches him burn, and he goes, "No one cared," because the guy was abusing a lady in the street and no one cared. So he goes, "If I light this guy on fire and kill him, nobody will care," and no one did care.
So basically expanding the Punisher backstory and not saying that he's just
kinda cool, yeah.
somebody
is
that
cool.
went through what he went through between
This is like
the
his whole
war
life, his
and
whole
all that,
life, yeah.
but that he's been kind of a
been kind of this
sociopath
way,
since
yeah.
the
Yeah.
beginning.
Just about, yeah.
And it's done in a different art style, which I kind of like. I like that there's the two different art styles. There's the flashback Frank and there's the current.
Okay.
Flashback Frank looks definitely more like 80s artwork.
Yeah.
And Kern's more definitely like digital, like computerized, which is very kind of cool.
Okay. All right.
And I know you say sociopath. I don't know if it's sociopath or guy out for justice, because again, he's only killing bad guys. It's very like Boondock Saints.
It's very Dexter, Boondock
Yeah,
Saints.
like I'm only
Yeah.
killing bad guys. He's not killing
Yeah.
everybody. He's just
Punisher's
like, this guy deserved
always
it, so I
been
took
that
him
way.
out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what you're kind of like, oh, like it's not a
true.
current
Yeah.
trend. It's always kind of been this way. He gets tired of justice not being served and serves his own justice. So.
Yeah. So he's about to go lead a battalion of hand ninjas to go fight Ares. But then I think Maria has like an episode where she's like, I want to see the kids. Like she has a freak out. Yeah. Because for whatever reason, I think it'll be described later, but it's like the longer you're dead versus the longer you lived, it is harder to bring you back. So she has to get regular treatments to stay sane.
Yeah.
I guess is the
See,
way
very
we want to say
Lazarus
it.
pity.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Before that too, the crazy creepy lady from the hand
High
brings
priestess.
the high priestess brings two like ninjas up, and she was just like, "Hey, Punisher, these guys both have like a conflict. Can you help resolve it?" Like she's constantly like testing this guy, like old biblical style, like old like Wrath of God style, where she's like, "Hey, like this guy had an argument with this guy, so this guy killed this guy's brother, and this guy retaliated by killing this person's like cousin. So how do we resolve it?" And Punisher just takes a sword, cuts both their throats, and they go, "They both murdered. Done."
Yeah. He asks if
He's
he
like,
asks
you-
what the
you
story she
judged
told is
greatly,
true,
yeah.
and they go, "Yes, hi." What do they call him? Like
High something. You're right. No, it's like
yeah.
Hi, Hank.
yeah,
Hi,
Hank.
High Slayer.
That's it.
Yep,
Yes,
that
High
is it.
Slayer. Yeah,
And he cuts them both.
but yeah, because
And
like slits their throats. Like
then
Yeah.
he kind of lays down a law that him and the high priestess are about to start fighting over. If you turn the page, it's you kill who I tell you to kill, and no one else. And they're about to, and like eventually they're going to scuffle.
pretty much in his sick mind, he's just like, listen, you kill somebody else who I said to kill, bad. You get punished. I kill you because you murdered. But if you kill somebody I say, it's not murder.
Yeah,
That's always been Punisher.
I'm just saying though, like you're just going. It's a weird kind of balance.
Yeah.
Like they're all kind of like, we're
Yeah.
gonna figure out these rules and judge it, get the scale
Yeah.
to balance out. So
Okay.
yeah, and you can kind of see they go their way to show Maria kind of losing it, you know, because they're like, oh, we can keep the treatments, keep them close. Yeah,
the hand attack Ares. They kill some of his apostles.
without Punisher.
Yes, without
Yeah.
Punisher.
They like
they
send
kill
the hand. They like, go
some
take
of the
him out.
apostles, but it doesn't go well for them.
Yeah, no.
They're fighting
The God of
of
War.
War.
It's God of War. They get brutally massacred.
Yes. And the end of the issue, if I remember, actually, thank you, yes, is that they show the coffins of the children.
Kid coffins. Two kid coffins.
Oh, of Castle's kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's like,
Frank
hey, we have
Jr.
a-
and Lisa?
Yeah, because she's like, we have a surprise for you. Mm-hmm. We were able to kind of like bring the bodies back, and if you have the body, you can resurrect it if you're the hand.
Sort of.
We're about to spoilers, dude.
We're about to get into it. After that, it becomes what you read that I didn't get. My comic shop didn't pull it. It's the War Journal Blitz.
Yeah, it pretty much.
That's a one shot, right?
It's a one shot. I did read it because I thought it was gonna be super important because when you first open the page, because I flipped open and was like, oh, he's in the costume, he's in the hand. Frank goes to Alaska. There's a crime boss. It kind of deals with like his past where he was in this town already. Frank took out a lot of bad guys, but one of the bad guys hid in with like the citizens of the town. So he was like, okay, I saved you guys. Everybody's cool here. I'm out. He leaves, and it's really there's the bad guy standing in the group with a gun to the back of someone's head going, don't say a word. So Frank accidentally saves the bad guy who comes back and takes over the town. And so when Frank gets there with the hand, he's like, oh man, as soon as we arrived, I sent hand ninjas up here before. 2 of them are chained to a fence getting eaten by polar bears. And so Frank's like, yep, clearly we got to take out the city. And he's going through killing guys, and they all have this like brand of like an H on their forearms.
For Hank.
Yeah, for Hank. And so he knows like these guys are all connected. I gotta start up. But he's like, these guys are all untrained. They might all have military equipment and gear, but they're not trained. These aren't like mercenaries. These aren't assassins. These are like kind of brainwashed guys. And as he's going through, like he then finds like a guy who's doing like a news kind of broadcast thing, and he kills all but one guy left. He's like, because they like he goes to kill them both, and the hand go, no, remember you need to leave one. And Frank's like, all right. And like puts his sword away. But I mean, he runs through one of the guy's like, do you know who I am? Frank goes, don't care. I'm dead. And that's just so crazy. He's like, do you know who I am? He's like, yep, and don't care. And like just kills him. So then like he goes back to the town. He goes, they go back again because it flip flops back and forth all the time. He goes back to the town and he finds out that like there's still bad guys there, and he's trying to help clean it out because he's like trying to wrong for sin. He's like, clearly I messed up.
So really, the War Journal one shot is really like Punisher, how I spent my summer vacation.
Just about, it's like Punisher on a side quest.
Okay.
Like, I'm Punisher side quest.
Hey,
Like,
man, you gotta get that XP somehow.
Okay.
yeah. And the way he takes out the bad guy is pretty brutal.
He gets home and Rhea's like, "What'd you do for your spring break, honey?"
Yeah.
"Oh, I went to Alaska. I fed some polar bears."
So he like finds the main guy, right?
Hate monger.
Hate monger. Yeah, he slices up his arm real bad, right? And then he goes, "Oh, hungry polar bears." Throws him to the polar bears, and they watch him get eaten alive.
All right.
Him in the hand, and then they go, "All right, we can go."
Yeah,
That's a Punisher move.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Super Punisher move. And that's why I was like, okay, it doesn't do anything with the main story, but again, you see some glimpses like, oh, Punisher's going to try to wrong rights.
Sure.
Like again, it goes back to that he's trying to find that balance.
Yeah,
sort of,
Yeah. Then we come back to issue 4 of the Punisher, and this is actually kind of an interesting one, where it shows that both Ares and the High Priestess have a lot of stake in Frank, because you find out that Ares believes that Frank is his greatest apostle.
Yes.
And he's mad the hand took him from her.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
I can see that.
Yes,
too.
he's like, oh, the hand brainwashed you. What did they say to you? What did they do to you? I need to fix that. You should be working for me.
Oh, that'd be a terrible team too.
Oh, none of it's good. Like, none of this is good.
There's no good
there's
here.
no good thing here.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And with the dialogue when it goes back and forth, it's so great. Like they're literally conversating. He's just chopping heads off while they're talking. Like, yeah,
they're
you
just
want
reading
some
they're
some
reading
carrots?
the crime.
Yeah, like yep, and, and like see, there's the guy
crime.
reading the crime. Like this guy's guilty of all this. Frank's like, cool, cut. And there's massive bodies laying all over the place.
Well, not to rush. I mean, because we do have still a lot to cover here. So what? And we still have a lot to cover here with Daredevil with its connection.
Oh, sorry, man.
So
We can speed it up.
Where does this? Yeah. How does this start to lead towards the Daredevil stuff?
So it's not going to at first. It's
doesn't-
probably
it's-
2 more issues, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happens is the High Priestess eventually sends Lady Bullseye and another assassin. Oh my God,
Deathstrike.
Yeah,
Deathstrike.
Lord Deathstrike.
Yeah, Lord
Oh,
Deathstrike.
okay.
To test Frank. And it's not until he sees Maria in trouble that he really starts to harness the power of the fist of the beast again.
Okay.
And he ends up, I think he kills Lord Deathstrike with
with that
knife, and then Lady Bullseye bows to him because he
You
is
are
the
the
hand.
chosen one, yeah.
Okay.
And at the same time, Ares shows up to the mystic lady of the hand and they
Yes.
have a conversation, and she tries to stab, and he's like, "I'm not really here." He's like, "I'm just intercepting your prayer because I'm a
Okay.
god and I can do this."
Because
So
he's a guy
so
who
they're
sends her prayer.
so you're
Sure,
again,
sure,
it's more like this whole balance thing of them going back and forth, going.
And that's where you find out he's like, "You stole Frank from me."
That's what I'm coming after. That's what I'm coming
Okay.
after you. Frank's
Yeah.
always been one of my disciples, but
Yeah,
he got brainwashed.
Okay.
And I think this is where he actually fights the High Priestess too, because there are some of the people who survived the Ares fight and came crawling back to the hand.
6 ninjas survive and bow to Ares.
Yes, in the blood of their
sorry.
in the blood of their comrades. And she's like, okay, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Kill them, Frank. And he's like, no, they fought, they lost, but they came back. No harm, no foul. And she's like, no, kill them. And he's like,
they deserve to die.
Yeah, he's like, no. So then they show up again, but now they're instead of the red, they're in black with the Punisher symbol.
Yeah, on the
and
side.
they've been reborn to be the Punisher's right hand.
His personal guard, more or less.
And Punisher's like, what did you do? And she's like, I killed their families in front of them.
Yeah, I murdered their entire family and everyone they knew in front of them as their penance. So
Yeah.
now they're completely loyal to you and only you. And if they die, no one cares.
Wow. So
Frank's like, what the
loses
fuck?
it.
Yeah, he's like,
And again, at this point,
Well,
Frank
yeah,
is
because
only
his
using
family was
swords.
just killed.
Yeah.
well, that, and he's like, you murdered unnecessarily. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, that's not part of the
I didn't
rules.
tell you to
I didn't
kill.
tell you that. Yeah.
So he
So you see in
attacks
his eyes.
her.
Yeah.
But that's the end of this issue. It's the next issue we get into the fight.
Well, you kind of see like at the end of this issue, Frank shows up covered in blood and is like, Maria, we gotta go.
Yeah.
He's like, we gotta go right now. And it's just like, and you're like, well, he won that fight, but oh Jesus,
But what
like,
happened?
yeah,
Yeah.
like what happened? He's covered in blood.
And that's also the issue. You find out that they can't actually resurrect the kids because they've been dead longer they've been alive. So every time they try and bring them back, they're like more mutated and there's less of them. And it's
Yeah, they
God.
show a slide. They show like a quick picture of one of the kids' heads, and it's got 2 eyes and it's green.
Okay.
And so Frank, and so like the priest lady's like, I'm gonna kill him, and Frank's like, no, they're my kids. Everyone leave. And he takes out a sword, and he's murdering his like defective clone kids.
So, yeah, in this issue 5 now we see the fight. He stabs the High Priestess, but she's not human. Of course she is something else.
Yeah,
Like,
she has
she's
to-
a
yeah.
monster of some kind. And they fight for a second, and he's able to kill her.
All the time, yeah.
Kill her.
I mean, like he cuts her into pieces.
Yeah.
And thinks that she's toast.
And then the hand bowed to him because he is the fist of the beast. They don't care. He can do no wrong in their eyes.
Yeah.
And so he takes Maria and leaves. But what he finds out, there's more backstory stuff.
Tons of backstory stuff in here.
What
like
he
half
finds
his
out
backstory
is
stuff.
if he leaves with Maria, she will die again.
The further she gets away from the temple, the weaker she gets.
I see.
And starts reverting back to being dead. So it's pretty much like there's a radius, like you can't leave the
has to
zone.
stay
She
in
has
the
to stay
area.
within
If
the
she-
magical area of
And
protection.
I'm sure this will get retconned later. If she dies outside of wherever they are, she is dead.
Yeah, she's
no
completely gone.
resurrections,
Can't bring her back.
no nothing.
Okay.
She just dies.
Okay.
And this is, I think, and then when he comes back in, the High Priestess has healed and regenerated.
She's completely fine. She's like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, she's like, she just totally no-sells what happened, and
I got your guard
he
here.
then goes to fight Ares.
Yeah.
And I think the issue ends with him being like crashing into the temple or wherever he is. Yep. And,
Yeah,
and there's Ares.
they square off.
And Ares is now wearing the old Punisher skull.
Yep. Like on a bulletproof vest.
Oh,
See, like it's
really?
pretty awesome. Like,
that's
yeah.
cool.
So he's wearing it like, hey man, you should be on
That's
my
cool.
team.
Yeah.
Because again, Punisher isn't using guns anymore. He's
swords.
only using these swords. And there's a couple of like training montages where you see that Frank's not
Sure.
that great with them.
Yeah.
But
I
he's an
remember that from the
effective
first
killer
issue, yeah.
regardless.
And his backups always go to gun. Like he always backups goes to guns.
Yeah, sure.
Because he's just, that's what he does. So
Issue 6 is a bit of a rough one. It's more of the fight, and he taps into more of the beast's powers, and I think he starts glowing red, or he starts
Yeah.
like
No,
he's got like a
it's-
red aura or something
it's,
around
it's
him.
up here.
And
See
and
again,
it's
like Frank, like he pulls out a bazooka against Ares. He's pulling no punches, and
yeah,
he's just
and, like he's using the guns that they previously mentioned, the PIM gun that shoots cars at people,
Yeah,
like
shoots a
the
tank.
gamma,
Yeah.
gamma gun, all of that.
he literally shoots a car.
Yeah.
No, and
And,
and it's super funny though because like, me and him were talking. I was like, I feel like Frank kind of won that fight. He's like, no, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
got a couple of licks in.
He got one lick in. He with that sword,
maybe one.
with that sword that the
Well,
High
the thorn
Priestess
starts
keeps
bouncing
offering.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, he's able to actually stab Ares. But Ares is a fucking god.
Yeah.
So he just beats the piss out of Frank at that. He's tired. I think he steps on his head and just pummels him.
He crushes him to the part where Frank pretty much blacks out from the fight.
Yeah. And when Frank comes to, he is resurrected back at the Hand Temple.
Yeah, because all of a sudden he wakes up and she's like, "Welcome back." So
Welcome back, Frank.
so you're kind of going, and he's looking at his hands like these were because like Ares steps on both of his hands, completely crushing him. So he couldn't use any weapons at all. Yeah, and then
I think this is where the kids actually.
This is
show
where
up, not the
this is
last
where they're
issue.
like,
Yeah,
hey,
okay.
while you were gone, we went ahead and tried to clone your kids, and like, yeah,
And they're aberrations. They're monsters.
they're monsters, and so and you can tell Frank's not happy, and he just tells him, hey, clear out, I got this, and so you see kind of no
This
words.
all still seems like it's all very much Punisher-centric. Like, I don't
it
see
is.
how this is leading to Daredevil in any way.
After this, it's right after this with the kids.
Okay.
He's thrown up outside in his garden,
And guess who shows up?
Oh.
Pat Murdock himself.
and he
it's
literally
right
says,
here. Okay.
he literally says the fist of the beast, Frank, and you turn it, and he was just like, pretty much like, what the hell do you think you're doing?
Okay, so so then this is everything that's leading to that then. The Daredevil stuff.
Yes.
Nope.
Nope. Because that's what we talked about.
That's what we thought, too.
That's what we thought too. We thought, oh, this is a great place to stop. Where I stopped at, going, then we can go in. And he goes, no. And
That's
so
not
he,
at all
he,
what
he,
happens.
he kept reading.
This leads up differently.
Okay.
Because in this one,
Because in the next issue,
7. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Matt
them hanging
and
up
Frank
on hooks.
have a discussion. It's a fight.
It's a
between
fight
them.
discussion.
Yeah,
That
like Batman
ends
does.
with Frank using more of the power to overcome Daredevil. I think Daredevil tries to exorcise him at one point, but Frank overcomes that, the possession, and actually levitates off the ground, grabbing and holding Matt Murdock. And Matt's like, you're possessed by the beast, blah, blah, blah. And I think Frank's like, I don't remember his exact response. You have it right there. But it's like, the beast
Come up
isn't what
here.
you should be worried about. You should always be worried about me.
Yeah. See, this was like levitating, choking out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's when Matt Murdock realizes that the hand isn't using Frank like they think they are. Frank is using the hand.
Yeah. They get more powerful, so you
Sure.
can see more.
Yeah.
And I think this is also where he tells his wife finally, because this whole time she's like, where are the children? I want the children. Where are the children? Let's go to the park where we once were. And he finally tells her the kids aren't coming.
She keeps slipping, going like having these nightmares. Like, Frank, the kids we left them at the park. We gotta go get them, and he's like, no, like the kids are gone.
Yeah.
And so that's double tough because he's got to keep reminding her.
He's gonna kill her.
Yeah, like eventually, because she's kind of slowly slipping, but it's all part of the process. So it's just like, what this dude's fighting on front, like too many fronts.
And the end of the issue is the only way you can get to their stronghold is if you know where it is.
Yep, they've been there before.
Ares has kept a couple of the ninjas alive. Yeah.
So that they can lead him back. Yeah.
Yep. And he's got tanks and his army. He's
right.
coming to end it.
Okay.
Yeah. And like literally, like that's
So-
pretty much like. Right, more or less how it ends, man. And then I just realized this cover is.
Does any of that Daredevil stuff show up in the Chip Zdarsky Daredevil?
Not at all.
Because that's what I'm
Right.
What I'm having difficulty here is like,
how's it crossover?
We decided to do this as a two-parter,
Yeah.
and there is so much in this Punisher story that it's like that seems like the primary story, and haven't even touched the Daredevil stuff, and now it seems like the Daredevil stuff doesn't even connect.
From what I'm hearing now, it doesn't connect at all.
Okay.
But we've got 2 more issues to go.
True.
So it's not going to connect exclusively with Matt Murdock. I will just say it like that. Matt Murdock kind of goes around to. So issue 8 is a lot of the back stuff, more backstory,
More head cutting. Sorry.
and the High Priestess being like, we need to start sniping off the hand ninjas that are leading him here. And Frank's like, no, they've come for a fight. We welcome them in.
Well, Frank lets these guys.
And so at some
these
point-
guys fight back.
Yes. So at some point, some of the people they kind of question Frank, being like, "Are you sure this is the wise choice?" So he has them untie all the people they've captured and give them swords. And if those people if anyone can kill Frank, they can go free. And then Frank kills them all, and he unlocks another power. The I don't remember, like the bones of the beast or whatever.
He gets stabbed.
Yeah, he gets stabbed, but he's not killed. It's
Sorry, man.
wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Again,
there's
there's more
Maria's
backstory with
guns.
Maria.
Yeah.
Her and Frank go to therapy.
The army's marching in.
While
All I
this
can
is,
just picture now is Frank sitting there all covered in
couch,
blood in
yeah.
a therapy session.
I try to release my anger in a more conventional way.
Man.
What?
and while this is going on, Daredevil is talking to a couple of different people.
Oh, is he?
And I don't.
So
I think
Daredevil's in these issues.
Yeah, he's in these last
Kind
few,
of.
sort of.
Okay.
But like, yeah, I like.
he's telling someone. Maybe it's the next issue then.
Yeah. That's
Because basically this issue is just leading up to the fight, And I believe the last line, Ares is like, "I've come, Frank. The god of war has come to kill you." And Frank shows up and he's like, "Gods don't win.
Gods don't kill
wars.
people. Do yeah,
Bullets do." Because he's now reforged the dagger into bullets.
Well, that's kind of cool.
The next issue is the big fight between all of them. And it's also now that this is where Daredevil is kind of running around talking to other heroes you find, letting them know what Frank's up to.
Frank's lost
Because
it.
the first person you see, he's talking to a roof, and he's like, Frank is the most accomplished mass murderer, present company excluded. And then
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Daredevil. I'm guessing Spider-Man.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Wolverine.
Snake.
He's talking to Wolvie going,
He's talking to Wolverine, saying,
who do you send in when you got to take a guy out?
Yeah.
if it's not Frank,
Who's the best at what he does?
There's one of three people.
Yep. Yeah,
And
fair
so
enough.
this issue is mostly the fight.
Oh, this is
a
the
little
war.
bit of backstory.
Wow.
And then Daredevil going to all these different heroes talking. Because at some point, Black Widow is now explaining to Captain America what's going on with Frank. And Captain America's like, I always thought there was hope for Frank.
Oh, yeah.
Guess there's not. Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Okay.
Let's get this over with.
That kind of ties into some stuff that's happening in Daredevil.
Mm-hmm. And by now, also, he has gone full, let's just say Icarus. He's got the glowing eyes. He can fly, super strength. Yeah.
Okay, so then in our last 20 minutes or so here, because we're running a little long here at this point.
Yes.
Are
Sorry, it was
you
9 10
able
issues.
to get this connecting to that
get to
in
that.
the last 20 minutes?
Yes,
the
I can.
Daredevil. You can.
Good.
Okay.
Because here's where we're going to end with Punisher. The end comes with Moon Knight talking to someone off screen. And it's not until the next page that it's...
Sorry.
I thought you were going to show him. Okay.
Oh, I did.
Doctor
yeah.
Strange and all the heroes discussing the Frank Castle problem.
It's Doctor Strange, Cap, Wolverine, Black Widow, Moon Knight, all talking how do we take out Frank.
Because now he has become the god of war. He has
okay.
killed
Full-
Ares himself, and now even Ares' apostles bow to Frank.
Okay.
He's become full Hank
So
at this
then-
point. He's fully
This is
Hank
full
now.
Hank.
So then Daredevil.
Yeah.
So Daredevil, the first couple of issues of Daredevil is him getting his affairs in order after Dark Reign, or Devil's Reign, where Matt Murdock is believed to be dead, so he's starting to get his affairs together in New York to leave.
You covered that before, am I wrong?
Devil's Reign, yes. I have a full episode on Devil's Reign.
If you guys want to know more about that, go check that out.
So he's getting his affairs in order, talking to heroes, saying, I'm going to do this stuff. He's also dealing with this guy from his past named Goldie, who now is some sort of angelic guy, who's basically, he's acting like an angel version of the High Priestess, and he's trying to guide Daredevil, but Daredevil refuses to follow him because Daredevil doesn't want someone deciding his fate.
Fair.
While that's going on, Elektra is also Daredevil, and she's going around trying to find a base for this new organization called the Fist, which is being put together to fight the Hand.
Okay.
You find out that she's working with Stick, who Matt hates.
Right.
And they're finding a base to put it all together.
Yeah.
So while she's running around with that, is there any mention, because I've been getting the Savage Avengers because of the 2099 connection. Is there any mention of her involvement with the Savage Avengers in
Nothing
any
in
of this?
there.
Okay.
Not that
Which is weird if they're putting together the Fist, because in that they call him the Fist of the Beast.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I found that interesting
so
too.
that's like
So, I mean, maybe this will cross over at some point.
Maybe
So,
it's
yeah.
left hand, right hand thing.
But yeah, the second issue is Daredevil pretty much trying to arrest Goldie, because he blows up a train that there's a woman on that Matt loved.
Okay.
But she didn't
Dick
really
move?
die.
Yeah,
She
super
didn't really
dick
die.
move.
It's a whole other thing. It's a really interesting story. I recommend reading it. But he's trying to find Goldie and stop Goldie. Goldie ends up, after this big long chase through the city, Goldie just says, okay, I give up. And I know.
Anticlimactic.
Okay.
Right? And then Matt arrests him and they take him to prison. The next issue, Matt goes to Cole, who was, if you guys read the last Zdarsky run, he's the cop that was brought in from Chicago. He's a kind of a tough as nails cop. He's the one who brought Daredevil down.
Yeah, I remember him, yeah.
Yeah, he goes to Cole and he gets Cole to join his side.
Okay.
He's like, hey, you want to do good? I do good. Join me in the Fist. So the Cole agrees.
The Cole.
We'll call him the Cole. No, that's fine.
Cole agrees and he goes with him. And then Matt just kind of has an interaction with this woman, Akka. Now, I don't know if Akka has appeared in Punisher at all.
Oh, man. There's been no
She's a
Akka.
huge thing in Hand.
Okay.
She apparently is the person
That's
that
weird.
recruited Elektra.
Interesting.
Because they don't bring her up at
This
all.
definitely feels like we're building to a Han civil war.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel like
what
there's now
I'm
two fresh.
wondering.
Yeah, no,
No.
Akka has not shown
at
up.
all.
It's the high. It's like mostly the high
priestess.
and then we see the beast from. The
Right.
beast never speaks.
He never talks. He just
But
stares.
yeah, so Akka fights Matt Murdock and tells him, "Hey, Elektra tried to recruit you," and he's like, "Yeah, no, I don't care." The next issue is Matt and Elektra going to their new island base that they have.
Neat.
Yeah,
Is this the red Elektra I've been seeing?
Yes.
Yeah, where it's like Daredevil Elektra. Okay.
The Daredevil.
And,
yeah.
I actually really like that costume.
Yeah,
it's a
too.
cool
It's a
costume.
really great
Yeah, it's a really cool costume.
Daredevil and Elektra have to go into this cave and do this test to prove that they are the leaders of the Fist.
Sure.
And after they come out of the test, they're married.
Huh.
So
That's the test
yeah.
is marriage.
after
I
they
guess
come
this is why
out,
being married.
Yep.
So they're married now.
Daredevil and Elektra are married.
Wow.
Okay.
And they come out, and now Daredevil is more powerful. Daredevil's powers.
That's what marriage
and
does.
The island that they're on and the power of the Fist has heightened his senses to the nth degree.
Okay.
That's why I find interesting that Punisher's getting all these powers.
Yeah.
Right.
Because all of his powers are heightened.
They're building up the okay.
The next issue 5. Again, I'm going through this really quick,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. Sorry, we
Sorry,
took
we
the time.
took too long.
We leisured through Punisher.
We're sorry, man.
Issue 5, Daredevil and Elektra.
That's a cool cover, man.
Right?
Sorry,
Yeah.
that's a really cool cover.
Daredevil and Elektra go into Blackgate and break out a bunch of prisoners like Stiltman, Sturgon.
Hell yeah.
Almost like they're
Still,
getting their own army together.
They
to
do.
go fight.
They get a guy, Bullet, Bullet's a lesser known Marvel character. He's a huge role in this. But he's from
The Tick?
No.
Fire me, my lad.
He was recently in the storyline where a bunch of mercenaries came in and just started destroying Hell's Kitchen from the last Zdarsky run. Daredevil breaks him out. Bullet's like all the other guy. Oh, and he breaks out Agony, the symbiote girl.
Oh, really? Okay. All right.
And he takes them all back to the island. The cool thing in this issue, though, is he has a fight with U.S. Agent. Because U.S. Agent is leading the Thunderbolts currently.
Okay.
U.S. Agent and him come up against each other, and he's like, Daredevil, we don't need to fight. I can beat you anyway. And Daredevil goes, yeah, you can with the lights on. And he shuts all the lights off.
That's awesome.
Beats the heck out of U.S. Agent.
Open
and
Nova.
John
Walker.
guys,
Sit down, Walker.
Open
and
Nova.
takes his shield.
Oh, dude. That's insult to injury.
He beat Ron Walker, not
Yeah.
Ron Walker, his brother.
We got
That's
Hank,
Hank's.
Pat,
That's
and
Hank's
Ron.
friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he beats him and takes the shield. Next issue is the villains that have been arrested or that were freed, that he freed, are on his island. He's doing what he can to rehabilitate them, train them, show them there are better ways, saying like, look, we can make this better. For the most part, they're all like, okay, yeah. Also, I forgot to mention, he's got a little secret hand or little secret weapon on his island to help with this. Doc Samson.
Nice.
He is building an army.
Okay, but what version of
Big green furry beast Doc Samson.
Okay, so he's still furry. He's still
Yep.
the Wendigo.
Yeah. He's still this
Okay.
green beast.
Let me see.
Because
Excellent.
that
I think it's all like
that came out of or the Sasquatch or whatever. Because that came out of the Immortal Hulk.
Yeah.
Oh, there was all this
The
gamma
Hulk
stuff.
Squatch?
Like the Sasquatch from Alpha Flight.
Yeah.
I forget his name now.
Terry. Let's call him Terry.
Okay, sure, Terry. He hangs out with Hank.
He hangs out with Hank, Pat Murdock, and Ron Walker. It's great.
No, he
Ron Walker.
he had some gamma. That's a long story that I won't
Yeah,
get into. Anyway, he had some problems with his gamma, and he ended up losing a lot of it. And in order to keep him alive, they somehow had to merge Samson's mind with that body. Anyway, by the end of the Immortal Hulk run, Samson was a green Sasquatch now.
And that's what he is
And
in
that's what
this.
he is here.
And
Okay, so
he's-
they're keeping that. Okay.
He's there to help rehabilitate these prisoners as well.
Okay.
As a therapist talking to them.
Okay.
While they're doing all of that, Matt is talking to Stick, and he's kind of telling him, hey, look, the hand, they're kind of doing shady stuff. They're changing out world leaders with fakes.
Oh, okay.
And Elektra goes to the president of the United States. Can't remember if they actually say he's a fake, but she kills him. She throws him out a window.
The Prez?
Yeah.
Bob Prez?
Hope he was. Hope she was right.
We still have 2 of the 3 branches of government, and that ain't bad.
And when she does it, Iron Man shows up.
Well, obviously.
Well, of course.
Why did he
Of course
catch the
somebody-
president? I let him fall so I could say, hey.
I can't remember
I had
what
this really cool pose going on. I didn't want to lose it.
I didn't, yeah.
No, what happened was he was down because they have these blades. She's got with some of their
like
other ninja guys on the fist. She's got these swords that are so thin they can penetrate his armor.
Oh,
That's
interesting.
super
Okay.
cool.
So they were able to drop him, and then she throws the president off.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And
Can you fly, you sucker?
I mean,
he
look,
looks
that's
evil,
his,
dude.
yeah,
he
he's got to be fake.
Yeah,
But anyway.
They
Or maybe he's just an evil person in general.
True.
Could be. I mean, he's politician.
Politics, yeah.
So she kills the president.
Okay.
The next issue,
As you
Matt,
do.
As one
next
does.
issue,
Allegedly.
the next issue, Matt's like, "Hey, we got to do this and do this, and you may want to lay still. You killed a guy, very
kind of a big guy.
You're going for murder.
I've been meaning to speak to you about that, Elektra. You might want to lay low for a little
Right.
while.
I didn't kill him, the ground did. Whatever.
But they're-
that's like
That escalated
They're
quickly.
having
That
a
really
meeting
got out of hand.
about the Punisher and the High Priestess and
Yeah,
talking about
okay.
all of the things. Like they talk about the stuff that's happening there, and then they go and he goes to take care of this CEO guy. Like Matt's taking some of these criminals out on a mission to be like, look, I'm going to show you how we can do good without resorting to violence.
Interesting.
So they take care of the CEO guy who's been really shady and buying up property and forcing people out of their homes.
Yeah.
At this point, Bullet, the guy who's on the island too, Bullet's been kind of fighting Matt, going, "You can't keep doing this. This is just another prison. You're not changing anything." And he's really pushing against Matt on this. And Matt's like, "I know, but just try it." And like, it frustrates the hell out of Matt that this one guy is not buying into it. And then finally, he's like, he goes to Mim at the end of this mission. He's like, "Hey, look, the one thing that's going to keep me cool is if I'm with my son, Daredevil." And Daredevil's like, "I can sense him. He's being truthful. It's cool. I'll let him go." And he goes, "Here, take this gem with you. If you need me, I'll know." So he lets him go. Lets him go to his son, and the other ones come back with him. Elektra's like, "Hey, you just let him go?" And he goes, "Yeah." And she goes, "Does he know that we can hear everything he does through the gym?" And Matt's like, "No."
Whoops.
But
Does he know we're spying on him? No.
yeah.
No.
But so they do that, and then after that dude leaves, Bullet, he goes back to his house, and the hand is there. They have kidnapped his son, and they put this medallion on him to brainwash him. And so now he's like brainwashed evil.
Okay.
Take both gems.
And
See what happens.
Matt, Elektra, Stick, they all hear it happening because he's got that spy gem.
Yeah.
So Matt's like, "Okay, we go into war."
Yeah, we got it.
And the next issue is the Fist invading the island where the hand is. And
so weird.
I ask about Akka because there's a panel here where she is standing next to Punisher.
That's what she looks like. That's the High Priestess. I'm kidding.
I wonder if
There.
Oh, dude, no. There's no. Like, it's either Ninja's the High Priestess
Yeah.
and Maria. That's it.
I wonder if because what is Punisher up to? What issue is Punisher?
9.
9.
Or yeah. Well,
I
with 3
wonder
one-shots.
if
Yeah.
the next issue then will connect to this.
Maybe.
It
in
feels
Daredevil.
like it would then because he just got done dealing with Ares and that story is wrapped
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
So it makes sense that it would move to that, or it might take it a minute because we end with. So the way it ends is with the superheroes
Yeah,
having
yeah,
the meeting
yeah,
about
right,
it.
yeah.
But also the High Priestess kind of getting kicked out of her spot for Maria because Maria realizes that out of all the war, Frank always chooses her, and so to her she is marriage and the war is the mistress.
Okay.
In this
And so
issue,
that's interesting.
She grabs a gun, right?
Yeah.
Like, she's like, Maria's gonna go fight.
in this issue here, they have this massive battle.
Yeah.
The hand has a goddamn dragon. Right.
Which hand?
The Punisher hand.
Punisher hand has a dragon.
They have a goddamn dragon.
Yeah, it's a dragon.
Okay.
And Stiltman kills a goddamn dragon. Well, he takes down a goddamn dragon.
Look at that. Sure does.
I've been
Let's-
like,
he, like,
legitimately.
lasted it.
I've loved Stiltman
Yes.
for being
Yes, he's
Stilt.
nonsense,
He is
yeah.
my kite man.
You will
Hell
love
yeah.
And let's let's
yes.
let's
Marvel Zombies was
reflect
great.
on the fact that it's not just a dragon; it's a goddamn
Yeah,
dragon.
It's a
terrible-
goddamn
GD
dragon.
dragon, dog.
Also, Daredevil
shield?
gave Cole U.S. Agent's shield.
The Cole.
You're gonna want this, buddy.
So I'm
Alright,
wondering if they're
cool.
going to make him U.S. Agent.
Here you go, the Cole.
They could.
Oh, maybe
Being a cop and all that as well.
Three of those.
U.S. Agent and Agony fight Bullet. They end up cocooning him, and they're going to take him back to try to revive him. Cole ends up rescuing Bullet's kid, gets him out of there.
Oh, yeah?
Daredevil and Punisher have a brawl, like an absolute
Because they have to.
brawl.
I have to, yeah.
And Akka fights Elektra, and Elektra gets stabbed with her own side. Now, this is kind of important to you because this entire thing is this is all about prophecy. Matt's been pissed because he doesn't like prophecy and telling him what's going to happen.
He doesn't like knowing his own fate, right? Or his fate being decided.
This has all been prophesized that they're going to go to this fight, and one of them is going to die, and they're going to lose this fight. They do lose this fight. They even leave this battle going, we lost. Yes, we got Bullet. Yes, we got his kid, but we lost. Elektra says she's okay at the end of this fight as they're flying away.
Dog, you bleeding.
Like, she says that she's going to live, but I don't know.
Dog, yeah, you bleeding.
I don't know if she's going to live. But she did grab something of Akka's that was apparently really a talisman as well. Another magic talisman.
Okay.
This is why I find it interesting how Punisher ends, because Daredevil ends with Iron Man and Captain America talking about that they now know where these magic bases are. These veils have been lifted, and we need to shut them down. And Spider-Man's like, yep, we need to bring Daredevil down.
That's super interesting.
So the Avengers sound like they're going after both parties.
Yeah.
So what I find very, very interesting about these stories
Nothing makes sense.
is how loose it is.
Super loose,
Especially when
Right.
at the same
Super
time
loose.
you've got Jason Aaron also writing Avengers and Avengers Forever and the big Avengers Assemble storyline, which is, gigantic multiversal thing. And so the Avengers are all being, distracted with all of that. And if he's writing that and Punisher, and Punisher and Daredevil are so connected but two different writers, like, a few episodes ago we did, check out our archives, guys. A few episodes ago we did an episode where we deep dived into the Batman Shadow War.
yeah.
And, and what we realized by the end of that episode is how connected
Yeah, they're tying it all
Shadow
in, man.
War and Dark Crisis and Lazarus, how well thought out and connected they are, even if some of the beats in those stories weren't always so great.
Right.
Whereas this, it's like almost the opposite. It's almost like the beats in all the stories are really cool, but the stories themselves don't connect.
Yeah.
And how do you have a continuity that way?
I'm thinking, from what they're saying, I'm thinking a lot of what is happening in Punisher happens in issues like 1 through 5 of Daredevil.
Could be. I mean, because we don't
That's
know
my
the timeline.
theory.
Right.
Because
Could
issues
be.
1 and 3 are basically kind of retelling his lore and
Right.
building it back out.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking is because also
So they're not a 1-in-1
Yeah.
timeline.
No,
I
I don't
think
think
so.
definitely
Yeah.
not.
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, and I have a feeling that they may talk about the fight with Daredevil in that one, but that battle that was in this one with the dragon.
See it only
I
here.
think this
Right.
was like the prequel. Like, hey man, we talked. Try
Well-
to see if I could get some common sense into him, and then Daredevil's like, that ain't gonna work. Goes back, it's an army, and
This
comes back.
this isn't even the final battle. I guarantee.
Oh yeah, okay.
This is just
See?
the first fight.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Because we haven't even gotten to a GD dragon.
No, there's
Or,
no
what was her
dragon
name?
yet.
Lorelai?
Akka.
Akka.
Lorelai.
Lorelai.
Was it Rory Gilmore?
No, I
Was
didn't
Rory
actually know.
Gilmore
I
in
didn't
there?
remember her name, so I was just like, I'm just going to pick a random name.
Yeah, Rory Gilmore and Lorelai show up.
Yeah, Akka's never shown up. A dragon's
Dragon's
never shown up. The
They-
beast is all we see.
They do bring up like mystic arts and magic a lot because that's
Well,
what's
that's
keeping Maria
hand.
alive.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's it. But
That's
it's
it. They
generally
don't bring up
resurrection.
Well, that's the other
Right.
thing too. They bring up a lot of the mystic arts and magic here. In fact, how I told you the island has superpowered Daredevil.
Yeah.
It's superpowering everyone. Cole has mentioned multiple times in the book how he feels stronger. He does like, I feel advanced. I feel enhanced.
I don't know how I feel about both Daredevil and Punisher being so heavily involved in this supernatural kind of magic-y stuff. At least they're handling it in a better way, but it's still maybe it's PTSD from Marvel Knights launching, but for me, I immediately still go back to the angel demon killing Punisher with the angel killing guns, and
To be fair, Daredevil has always been heavily involved with hand magic.
He has because like Elektra, right?
True.
You're not wrong.
And I will say that the
Shadow
magic
Land.
and I will say that the magic stuff that's in the Daredevil book does make more sense and is more I don't want to say downplayed, but it's I buy it more than I buy Punisher floating.
I would
in
say
the air.
Punisher has always been kind of like street level thugs, roughly, and him taking them out, and that's kind of it. Like
Kicking in a bar and killing a bunch of villains.
Yeah.
bingo. Like and just like guns are gonna do my justice. Where it's like, hey man, I'm gonna cast a spell on this gun and wipe people out. That's not Punisher-esque. You know, like, that's kind of weird.
Well, let's ask. That's a perfect question at the end of this episode. Yeah, that's a perfect question for the listeners out there. What do you guys think? I mean, do you guys like the direction? Also let us know if you're reading either Daredevil or Punisher. But if you're not, if you're just going off of this, like I am, just going off of this deep dive from Smurfy and Pistol and Prime. Do you like that direction? Do you not like that direction? Do you know more of some of the Hand and their backstory leading into this? Is there stuff that was in other books that we don't know about? Please hit us up here in the comments on this video, or find us on any of the social media sites and let us know, because we don't know.
Clearly.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And who's your favorite? Is it Hank Castle, Pat Murdock, Ron Walker? Who do you love the most?
Or Appa
My money's
the
on
friend.
Lorelei.
Or Lorelei, yeah.
Or Lorelei.
Or Lorelei and Appa from the Daredevil book.
Yep.
Yeah, right. So let us know, guys. Wow, guys, that's a lot.
Yeah,
in
it's
that. That's a very dense 2 stories, and it's building to something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's clearly building to something.
Either like a Hand Civil War, or they all have to team up to fight the superhero.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, that's it, guys. That brings us to the close of another great episode. So don't forget, join us next time.
I am Dragonus Prime.
I'm Dr. Impact.
The one and only Smurfy.
The foot of the beast, Pistol Danger. I was gonna say the dick of the beast.
Yeah,
You want that?
That's what I was waiting for. I really thought you were
Beast
going to say that.
Dog, Pistol Danger.
Good night, everybody.
And now you know. But as they say, knowing is only half the battle. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the show on your favorite platform. And follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And spread the word to all the listeners out there.
Greetings and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Dollar Menu Mid-Carters, my wrestling podcast, which I just did the intro for. That's how I do the intro for that podcast. So I had to cut it. Sorry.